Generally, Inferno games tend to be closer. It tends to be a map that both teams are going to be able to play, both teams are going to be able to go back and forth on. I want to see that here, Dinko. I don't want a blowout. Even if Heroic win, I hope we at least get a close map, because that first one felt like it could have been closer if we didn't have some of those crazy plays.
Yeah, we had some huge individual step-ups from Heroic that put them in that position. We're looking at you, Shush, and Refresh, but the 1x bet odds at the top of your screen certainly favoring Heroic coming into this one, and you cannot blame them. At the start of this round, and is Shush fighting down mid early. Astralis leaning. The players in Banana early on. They're still at the bottom. Now I'm walking up. They've still got utility here over on Heroics. Down with a smoke. He's still got an itchy in his hands and a flash as well. So plenty of utility saved up into the late round here for Heroic.
Oh, the nade might be on point. Goes a bit too far, so it only does a bit of damage onto Bubsky, but the push is at the ready. Counter smoke from Heroic, but Bubsky's got ahead of it.
Oh, Tessus from the pillar getting one a second picked up as well from Tessus. He gets a third. Refresh stepping up as well. And this pistol, it is looking clean here for Heroic. Nothing they can do. Astralis just fall by the wayside. Heroic in with a pistol win.
That flash that came in from Stown was really helpful. Helped set up Tessus for some of those fights. You just see how that one flash he throws completely disjoints the push from Astralis. Right, Astralis would want to be just rushing together with the Glocks, but look how awkward this is. That player's blind. This other player who was in the smoke was trying to push through, but he got blinded and had to run back. That flash from Stown basically wins them the round.
Yeah, that's incredible hold as well from Tessus individually, just hitting every shot that came into his crosshair. And now Astralis have gone back to the force spy. No bomb plant, so it's much weaker. You haven't got any of these rifles. Oh, Bubsky around the corner, launches himself into Tessus. Will happily take that kill with the M4. So good start into this round for Heroic, and we'll see if they can get a few more. They've double stacked into short here, and Dupree might just clear out Cadian, but it doesn't even matter. Cadian still gets that opening pick.
Heroic have taken full banana control though. Deep smoke down, so they can stay stacked on this A site. That'll make it even easier for them on the hold. Bubsky there got into a position where he had the chance for one of those opening kills we were talking about. Hasn't really had the chance to play much on the T side so far, but his first attempt at an opening kill there on Inferno, unsuccessful. And we talked earlier about how Bubsky has been instrumental to Astralis' T side with some of those opening kills. So now that they've lost it and they don't have that much to work with, got to assume this will be a Heroic cleanup.
I do love how Heroic are going for such a bonus here, and they're still coming out on top so far pretty cleanly. The Astralis players are low, and they're going to be walking around long. They sense a bit of a chance here. They're close, but look at how many players are on the other side of this. And Tessus gets the information with the gap at the edge of the smoke, knows one player's crossed in behind it. And with 7 seconds left, they try and jump onto the A side, but it's not worked out. Shush has come in with some extra money on that MP9. And a fantastic start into this one for Heroic. 2-0 up. Astralis not getting a bomb plant into that round, so they've got no money in this one.
This was the early fight. Bubsky heard the player jumping, so thought he had a chance to pounce. Fortunately, it wasn't the case. Heroic getting off to a good start here on Inferno, and this has been a good map for Heroic in the last few months. Even though this is Astralis' pick here, Heroic's most recent loss on this map was against Gambit, 16-6. That was a pretty one-sided one, but other than that, they basically have no losses recently. After that, their previous loss again was another one against Gambit, going all the way back to February, and they have a couple of map wins in between. 6 in a row they won there. So it's been a good map for Heroic, and that's the scary thing for Astralis. I think their map pool with these roster moves is in a spot where they don't get the chance to go for punish picks necessarily. They're having to pick one of Heroic's strengths as well. And historically, Astralis' map pool has been a big part of why they've been able to be so dominant, right? So I think it's going to take a bit of time to build that up.
Oh, it certainly will, right? I mean, just a move like this leaves the team in a very weird spot for quite some time. And To be honest, I've actually been very impressed by the performance they've been able to deliver so far. And they've got into CT spawn. They're going to be running down Library. It's Dupree that runs into the crosshair of Stown just to give his team a little bit of extra time. And while they've pushed down Banana, completely given up the B site. It's going to be Astralis sprinting into B, and getting a bomb plant out of this would be the best case scenario, and they've locked that in. Heroic do realize what has happened, and now it's all about making sure they just close out this round by limiting the casualties. You don't want to give anything extra over to Astralis, and Glaive has got a kill, so that's Cadian down. This is definitely not exactly how it should have gone for Heroic. As they start to make their way back in, Tessus and Stown with rifles should be clearing out these positions pretty quickly. Astralis still alive, still nuisances inside of the B site. Finally, kills start to come in here for Heroic, and they are cleaning up the remaining players. They get the round, but Astralis coming in with the bomb plant, that shouldn't really have happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's miscommunication from Heroic, because clearly the player in Library spotted that they had the opportunity to go into CT spawn. I guess maybe Heroic just wanted to make sure they weren't going to get sandwiched on Banana, because if you get pushed from both sides there, that's when you lose guns, and that's when you have an actual chance of losing the round. So maybe it was just damage control. Once Astralis get into CT spawn, you don't want to risk just losing those guns on Banana, getting crunched in on and losing the round outright, and they still stay in control of the round. Bonus one here, though. Cadian's keeping the Deagle. We've got that deep smoke down mid early.
Oh, Cadian running right through the Molotov at the start, through the apartments, and he's got down into second middle. They don't seem to be aware of this possibility at all. DreamHack setting up utility. Look towards the doorway, and the timing's worked out perfectly for Cadian. He's got in behind. But DreamHack has walked on by. Cadian can start to get in behind the Astralis players, and they've got 3 in Banana, one of which carrying that bomb. And Cadian, trigger discipline, doesn't go for the shot into the bedroom. Will call the information, but now continues his walk, and Magisk is alone. Oh, he's down here. Cadian's going to get the free kill. Does he go for the knife? Does he go and do him dirty? He's getting close, looking for another pick on the fallback, but he is biding his time here. Cadian has so much info. This is a dirty play from Cadian. They're not looking his way. Finally, a turnaround. Oh, Cadian, he only gets one. And it's not even Magisk that goes down. It's Glaive that falls victim, and Bubsky gets the headshot back.
You just wish you have a rifle there. It would have been the lineup. Instead, only the 1 kill for Cadian. I love how patiently he played it. I love how he tried to get even more. Maybe just have a player peek with you top Banana so you can get him from both sides. Unfortunately, though, Astralis turn around and spot him. Turns into an awkward scenario, but that is still a big overperformance with that 1 Deagle. And now it's the rifles that remain alive for Heroic.
Yeah, Cadian, and that's a perfect point, Hawk. He only had the Deagle, and now Astralis running into the B site. 4v4 is down. His turn to get involved in this round, and he's got himself 1. 17 seconds was the only player inside of the B site, and Tessa is not too far off getting that kill on the DreamHacks, but bomb shall be planted. Astralis will play the post plant.
CT smoke still up, but Heroic have a couple of nades of their own. They're going to smoke off Banana, but that's not going to make a massive difference because Astralis are all committed to the site, and the molly on CT will force Heroic into ruins.
Yes, Apex holding. He's low. He's up on top of the coffins, though. Strong position to try and get 1, and he will get 1. Traded out quickly. 2v2 now. Dupree at pillar has a strong spot, and the time is ticking right now for Heroic. The timer on the play, and Magisk has found himself a kill on Shush. Goes in for the second, and it's a first round for Astralis, picked up by Magisk.
They had to work hard for it, though. They had to work very hard for it, even though Stown was solo holding B initially, and Astralis get the site pretty quickly. Heroic put up a great fight here, and oh, imagine if Glaive doesn't turn around. It could have been even worse. Thankfully, they turned just at the right time, and even getting that entry kill onto the site, Heroic did a pretty solid job at just keeping it competitive, doing some good damage, and now Heroic will have a proper gun round where Cadian's going to have that all.
It's going round and Stown under pressure. So much utility being used up. And I love that from Tessus. The re-reply straight down middle from Refresh. And that is a 4v3 man advantage for Heroic. But they're going to try and isolate this player. And Banana and Tessus. That's a huge overperformance to be able to get another kill out of that.
He had the FAMAS, he had the 1 weak weapon on the team, but the bomb still at second mid. Glaive fully blinded, and Refresh finds him. Now they're going to realize there's no one else here, but Bubsky's just got to rush it onto A.
Yeah, he's got time, but it is going to be the 1v1 fight against Shush around the corner, and Bubsky, does he check the balcony? No. And it's going to be Shush that takes the round. Oh, it's unfortunate from Astralis. They get picked apart, but you have to talk about Tessus right there. He had the weakest weapon, but just performs to a huge level. They're throwing so much utility on his position, and he just keeps on going, keeps on getting kills.
Especially with that molly hitting him initially. You put that smoke down, they know exactly where you are. So to get away with a kill there is really impressive. I do like that Astralis tried to go for something quick early, though. I like that they are just willing to fight early, willing to brawl. I'm not sure if that's a fight they are happy taking, though. Cadian with the AWP gets the early kill onto Glaive. Only pistols this time out for Astralis. Full banana control for Heroic too, so they will start rotating soon.
There's so much info off of this, right? You can rotate that extra player over, and there goes Tessus. He's going to fill up the A site. Astralis are going to try and walk around long, and Stoun's come over to the party as well. This is not looking pretty for them. Astralis, even if they get through Archway, they have to deal with Stoun. And he's not letting them get any further. Tessus peeking out. Another fantastic start into the map for him. He's already reached double figures on the kill count, 10 and 3. And Magis now alone, just the Deagle in hand. And Heroic have shut this one down. Magis looking to just try and get a headshot or two on his way out, but that won't even happen either. Heroic closed it out 5-1. It's a pretty strong start here for Heroic again, Alex. It's looking rough for Astralis. They've got to dig deep and figure out how they're going to win a few rounds in this T side, because Heroic seem to be very comfortable.
Yeah, the level of coordination for Heroic, despite having the 2 roster moves pretty early on, is really impressive. You know when you just meet someone and you just click with them, Dinko? I mean, obviously I don't know that with you because we secretly hate each other, but you know what I mean? Like, that's what Heroic have, it feels like. It feels like it just naturally works.
Yeah, it's just the synergy is on point, right? It's one moving piece. An instant connection. We're all looking for that, really, in life. And Heroic have got it. And Astralis gonna try and walk the way up bananas. Bubsky looking for some of those entries. We were saying earlier on, Blair was also staying on the desk. Bubsky's entry ability has been very solid for Astralis so far. Finally getting a taste of the server, finally getting some action back here, and Bubsky, he looks to try and prove he deserves that starting spot.
Doesn't even have to be the entries, though. It can just be taking map control like that, pushing Heroic back, because now they stay 3B on the Heroic side, and Astralis is starting to lean in towards A. Heroic look like they're none the wiser right now. They're sticking with 2 CTs on this site. That gives Astralis an excellent chance to go for the fast play.
Yeah, this time, Heroic don't have all the info to play with, but they will hear the utility starting to come in. They can get it to ready here on the defense, and here comes the charge down banana for Heroic. They're going to get a quick rotation. There's a timer on the play now for Astralis to get into the A side and refresh and shoot. They don't even need the reinforcements. All the kills come in on defense, and Astralis just don't get a thing.
Those counter flashes were great from Heroic. I think there might have been a team flash in there from Astralis which slowed them down, but they still shouldn't have got all those kills, surely. They lock it down between them. Shush here, getting an initial spray transfer onto this player on the left side, switches it out to another AK, and they just don't seem to touch him in the mini pit. He was on 86 health at the end there.
Yeah, that's first day delivery with that AK. You start to look at it as a real chance for Heroic, right? Or for Astralis, they see there's only 2 players left of the A site, and they start to wrap it. You think there's a great chance for them. The reinforcements running down banana, yes, but they don't even need them. They stand so strong. And Astralis, it's another one of those performances where you look at the chance for them, they certainly should have had a better chance at winning that round, or at least doing something. And that was a similar story over on Nuke, right? The amount of rounds they probably should have won or came close to winning, but just couldn't get it over the line. And that's just one added to the collection. 6-1 up.
I think quickly, with this new lineup, I think Inferno makes sense as the home map for this new Astralis lineup, right? If you don't have that primary author, you can rock the 5 rifles much more easily. But right now, it's not looking like a home for them. It's looking more like a nightmare.
Yeah, and Dupree, right? He's not really having the greatest of starts either individually. I don't think he had the best performance over on Nuke either, so definitely looking at some of these big hitters that now need to step up even more than usual. And Astralis need them against Heroic. Ooh, Cadian, too far off that. That just tries to go around the corner, and it's down. And a little bit of pressure, sprinkling some damage down, and Tessus gets the kill with a molly. Bubsky just burns alive. And the bomb is down in the open at Banana. Astralis can recover it, but they're still down a player, and they walk around the corner. Once again, gifted the bomb. This time it rolls to the feet of Tesses, who just gets himself kills. Stown and Tesses working together, and Dupree, he'll finally get his first kill. He draws blood into Inferno. It takes 8 rounds. He's got the AK. He'll look for a little more, but Shush was not ready for that, Dupree. 7-1 up for Heroic. Fantastic start for them. Astralis, they have got money again, and that AWP is going to come out on the T side.
I think it is time for a switch up of some sort. It is always hard to AWP on that T side of Inferno, though, so we'll see if Dupree can adapt. 8 rounds in, 11 kills for the entire Astralis team, 12 kills for Tesses alone. That just gives you an idea of the level of performance we're seeing out of Heroic here today. Tesses and Shush again leading the charge, but here comes that AWP. Trying to see if it can get involved early, but Bubsky's taken some nade damage.
A bit. He's down to 47. He has been forced out of there. Absolutely no way Bubsky is welcome in Banana. Magis doesn't care, though. He'll force himself welcome. He's walked through the smoke. Look at the setup for Heroic right now. Yeah. 4 players over at A.
I love this setup because they don't have to use early nades. Because they have 3 players watching top mid, they don't have to smoke it. They can just hold it together and save some of those nades for the later round.
And they're going to smoke off long here for Astralis, a deeper one. And oh, the spam through from Glaive trying to catch out Tesses, but it will be Shush up on this boost. It's going to be a difficult position to clear out if you're Dupree. If you're sending the AWP in to peek this first, just looking up on top is going to be difficult. And then you have the second player in below as well. So they're making the call to go back into B. And this might just be the right call for them. Rotation has come in from Tesses.
We haven't had a Cadian highlight play yet, though. It might be about time for it, Dinko. He's ready with the AWP on the site.
He's waiting for it. Blinded. He's forced away. Further back into the site, but it's Tesses' turn. He comes through the smoke. He finds himself Glaive, but Bubsky quick on the reply. But look at the play from Refresh, trying to get there quickly, running down middle. But here goes Cadian. Headshot onto Zipex. Can he find any more? He's at the back. He's being tested. A missed shot, but he's still alive. He looks for more. Oh. He lands the headshot, going back for a little more, but not much more to be found. And Refresh arrives at the top of Banana. His mid push finally coming in. A bomb plant secured for Bubsky, but now he looks to secure the round. This is much more difficult, but they're looking the wrong way, and he only gets the one. It's again a round loss for Astralis. They get onto the site this time, though. It just wasn't to be. And I mean, Cadian stepping up again, just getting those 2 kills in there, Hawker. It may not be the biggest highlight play, but it's effective, and they're crucial picks.
Absolutely. And I love the way he stays alive for so long there, right? The jiggle peek onto the right side before he got that kill, just baited out a couple more shots, baited out more nades from Astralis. He slowed Astralis down so much as they tried to hit that site. He even got that second kill and bought that bit more time that Heroic needed to start flanking up Banana. Bubsky had a chance at the end, but it was always going to be a slim one, even though they weren't looking at him. There were 3 players on his screen, and eventually someone's going to start looking at you. As soon as they realize where he is, they trade him out. It's starting to get a little serious on the Astralis side now. You don't want to get blown out like this on back-to-back maps.
Yeah, it's not going to be a positive sign mentally moving forward for Astralis. I mean, they are into the playoffs. The loser goes to the quarterfinals, and the winner straight to the semis. If you're Astralis, if you get through to the semis immediately, you've put yourself in a very good position. But again, we all have to remember how much of a big change this really is for them. And they're going to try and run up into Banana. It's Magis with the opening kill. Actually, Stown, of course, with the opening, but Magis pulls it back for Astralis, and Tesses does not let them retreat. Take that. Tesses just drops 2.
Oh, I thought he was going to get one more through the smoke for a second. Not meant to be. I'm sure the 2K is something he'll be happy with for the time being. This was a half buy for Astralis, but they sprinkled some AKs in there with a bit of that extra cash. This is something a lot of players are doing nowadays, jump peeking with that nade. You can throw it as soon as you spot some players, do a little bit of early damage before you get tested.
Yeah, slows them down, discourages them from running you down immediately. Gives you a slight extra bit of time to play with, to fall back and get a better position in the site. But look at this again, Heroic. This is something they've been doing throughout this tournament. When there's a little bit of an opening, when they get enough information, they do like to push and take away all of that map control. allows for these quick rotations. So right now, Astralis trying to get into B. Tessus holding on, and he doesn't even need help again. A 4K from Tessus, a huge round delivered, 9-1, and the domination continues. Heroic are just feeling it right now, and I think you are starting to see the fact that, you know, Astralis are coming into this tournament. I think we all kind of forgot about the fact that it is such a significant move based on the performances they've had so far. I think they've kind of overstepped what we expected, to be honest. Dupree kind of clicked well. They had some good performances, getting wins under their belt, but when you're going up against a Heroic that it just looks so solid, it's really starting to show that Astralis, you know, they will need a little bit of extra time.
TassS still out-fragging the entirety of the Astralis roster, if my maths is correct. If he can do that for a whole half, it would be unbelievable. Fire round back for Astralis, though. Those early nades going back and forth for both teams. Smoke deployed at the top of Banana for Heroic, so that gives away the idea that they will be willing to give up Banana control early. And a slight adjustment from Heroic. Cadian comes to help on B with the AWP and with some extra nades. He's not going to use those nades. He's just going to go for the peak.
Just waiting. Oh no, the timing. He was holding the boost for so long, but when it comes up, Cadian has just switched his crosshair, and now it's down, getting cleared out of the round. A quick reply from Magisk, a follow-up headshot. And this is much better for Astralis, a far better situation to find yourself in. And they'll go for the plant. They'll go for the round win. And Heroic, they're on the save call.
Especially with those AKs. Want to keep those on the CT side. They do have so much money that it probably is worth sticking around and trying to get exit kills, especially with this utility. Oh, this could be really nice. If you put that molly on top Banana and try and force it, Astralis, to stick close by, there's a chance you could make him die to the bomb here, and that would be big. Oh, I don't know if she's just going to use it, though. Maybe in the late round. Just get him out the close corners.
Well, he's just going to walk into the open and die, and Zipex and Cliff do get their kills. Refresh, holding his AK. And they do lose a lot of players there, Heroic, but obviously money's not an issue. It's just losing some of the AKs. You don't want it to be going down. But Astralis finally onto the board, getting a second round in play. It has not been a great start for them, but they'll take everything they can at this point. And that's that timing at the start of the round as well. Cadian was watching for that boost for so long, and as soon as he switches his crosshair off, it's Magisk that jumps up, and then he had a little taste for blood and went after Stown as well. And again, we started talking about Stown. You brought it up the last time we casted Heroic, was the fact that, you know, we were waiting for him to really be that talent that really steps up and becomes the star for Heroic. But it's the fact that they've brought in all of these players. When they've brought in Cadian, they've brought in Tessus, and it's all just clicked so well that the pressure is kind of off Stown. You get a little bit more time to develop as a player, and you don't have to quite sort of grow exponentially. You don't have to be that star player just right now, and you've got the rest of the team stepping up and delivering alongside you, and it's a really good sign for him.
Definitely. I don't think there is one real standout player. I guess Cadian's the closest to it for Heroic, that you always know that all your teammates can step up when they are called upon. Here comes Bubsky, flashes early. He's not able to get the early fight to go his way, and with all those nades on Banana, he's not able to get any backup either.
Yeah, these Banana fights are just brutal for Astralis. It's Tessus and Stown just locking it down. And Astralis, they're down 2 players at the start of this one already. There's 1 minute and 25 seconds left by the time they're in this situation. And you've got to deal with this double stack in apartments as well. Cadian taking the initial angle. He might just find Zipex. And if there's a player in behind, you would have to deal with Shush. And Cadian sees the barrel. He's so ready, and Zipex is not going to go around that corner. He's not going to give him the kill. And right now, if you're Astralis, you start to look at this round as if is it even winnable at this point?
Even when they're up 5-on-3, they're still taking more info, still taking more control. That could allow them to start to lean another player over to B. Refresh is the player rotating over as we speak, and they still have so many smokes to slow this push down. Oh, Astralis is so screwed here.
Oh, yeah. 30 seconds, smoke down, just comes in at the perfect time. And Astralis, if you've got to go, you've got to go through the smoke. Coffin smoke out from Dupree. Flash is about to pop, and still 3 players standing here for Heroic. As Tessus in with the first, goes in for the second as well. Dupree tries his best, but Tessus continues to mow them down. Another 4K from the back of the B site. And it's not just against these pistols, he's doing it against the rifles. He's just having such an easy time on that B site.
So impressive. He was great on the first map too.
Yeah.
Tessus and Stown have been locking it down on this B site. They've been making Astralis frown. Maybe making their pants go brown with how this has been going.
Well, Hawker, I was going to say, if you went any longer, you would have made yourself look like a clown, but you got 2 up now for Heroic.
I think I did that pretty well.
Yeah, I think you did that well, Hawker. I think that's a real talent you've got for yourself. And here's the Hunden return. He has come back into the team. I think he'll be pretty happy with the performances he's seeing from his players so far upon his return. There's been very solid stuff coming in from Heroic. And if they can dispel Astralis this easily, when Astralis have been looking decent enough in this tournament, I don't think, obviously, they're not the giants everybody knows, right? They've got this weakness. You've brought in Bubsky, who's barely played any officials recently. You know, you will have a lot of weaknesses here for Astralis, but if Heroic can just crush them very quickly and move on to the semi-finals, that's got to be a big confidence booster, and it has to be a sign to the other teams that are in those playoffs to be scared of this Heroic team. They're coming for that title.
I can't believe that Tessus is still out-fragging the entire Astralis roster. It's incredible, his level of performance. Stown is struggling, though. He needs assistance, and Tessus is there to save him, but the nade comes in just in time. It's Refresh who tries to swing, but this time the B fights go the way of Astralis.
Yeah, and that bomb's still back at T-spawn, so they're going to run back and collect that. They've got the B site, and there's no movement here from Heroic. They're going to give a few more seconds in play before they make their decision. But it's certainly looking like right now it's going to be some time if they were to go over to the B side. So likely just stay here for a little while longer, Hawker.
I think it's late enough in this first half where Cadian and Shush don't have to save these guns with the money they have. Right, there's only a couple more rounds left in the half.
Yeah.
So it's probably worth just either trying to do some damage to Astralis or maybe going for the Hail Mary.
It's 2v3 right now. It's certainly winnable with the way they have been playing so far. And of course, Glaive has been damaged up as well. He's on 40. There's not much utility left at all for Astralis. There's a heap on Cadian though. He's got an Incendiary Smoke, HE. And Shu still has a flash as well. This time is starting to tick, so if they do want to go and get this win, they've got to go quickly. Again, damage will be certainly effective onto Astralis, and there's Shush with the first. Good re-flash coming in from Astralis. That's going to hold them back. And then we'll just concede. Kid in, looking for a pick on the exit, but cannot pick it up. That is maybe an AWP available, but both players obviously going down. Couldn't get away. They were sprinting towards CT, and Astralis will find themselves the third.
Yeah, I love that. That's all you need to do, because Astralis' buy will be limited now. And you can absolutely just rebuy that AWP. The early trades on Banana this time, I think, a little more disjointed for Heroic. You see that Tessus was slightly slower to peek off the back of his teammate. But both players going down to the bomb does have an impact. We'll see it in the buy. No nades for Bubsky, no helmet for Dupree. These could be factors that help them win this round.
Yeah, Astralis definitely limping forward. High control has been a big part for Heroic, and Magic is going to try and win it, but there's so many players around the corner. 3 players leaning over B right now for Heroic, and they trade out utility. Magic has been given banana control, but it's the play for Astralis. They walk through the mid-smoke, and now they're about to pop through the left side at long and Refresh. He goes unchecked. He'll get one, nearly getting another huge multi-kill, but he's brought down very quickly after. Glaive has found a pick, and is a 2v3, still favoring Heroic into this one. The majority of their players are on the B side of the map, and the bomb's just gone back over to bottom Banana. It's on the back of Magisk, and he's walking right into Stown, who'll take the kill. He'll find the bomb, and they'll just smoke it off.
Glaive aware Shush was close by, but Shush doesn't even give him the opportunity. Oh, Glaive's doubling back into top mid. Maybe seeing if he can flush out the position of Shush, but it's so disciplined. Now he peeks just as Glaive's gone away. 40 seconds remaining. Still more utility for Heroic if they want to hold on to Banana. But as it stands, it's only Stown who's properly peeking in, and Shush eventually gets the info. Glaive down low.
Yeah, 8 HP right now. Gonna try and go for the pick. Incendiary is coming down, but it's the headshot from Stown that is delivered. As we head into the last round of the first half, it's 11-3 for Heroic. This is Astralis' map pick, and it's not looking so comfortable for them on the T side. Dupree, again, kind of struggling on that individual performance.
Surely not.
What?
An M249. Okay,
There we go.
Okay.
I was going to say, I only see that in matchmaking, Holker, but it's a return to normalcy. It's just been dropped on the ground.
Oh.
I wouldn't be surprised, though. Heroic do pick up a lot of random weapons.
I mean, maybe if you want to spam with it on Banana, who knows?
Yeah, doable.
You never know. You're up against pistols, though, and an SMG, so no need to fight close range on Banana if you don't want to. And yet again, this is that earlier economic damage coming back to cost Astralis. So keeping those players locked into the B site previously, forcing them to go down with the bomb, means that Astralis now have even less to work with for the last round of the first half.
Dupree starting to walk up middle. Here goes Astralis. They're going to need a big individual compensation right now, given what they've got to play with. And Cadian, you might just take them out here at the last round of the first half. He's looking for them. He's found his first kill. He's hungry for a little bit more. Head on to Glaive, drops him down to 55, and the Banana play seems to be coming in for Astralis. They're going to try and test this again. He's just been on point, and that nade damage will soften them up further. They're going to go for the boost up. This could work out perfectly for them. Just those double rifles into the back of B. Stown can change up his position, but they're going to be sending that bomb back into the A side of things.
This is one of those rare rounds where Heroic aren't playing for info, but I think it's because they have the weaponry advantage. They have the nades to work with, and they're already using those rifles to their favor.
Yeah, Magic's about to set up in Moto Smoke. Interested to see how they approach this one. Astralis obviously with far less weaponry to play with, and Zepex tries to get forward. The MAC-10 looking to carve open an opportunity into the A site, but it's not coming in. And now Bubsy just one bullet away. 12-3 half for Heroic. They look to try and close it and head to the semifinals. We'll see if they can do it after the break. Heroic are looking fantastic heading into the second half. 12-3 versus Astralis on Astralis' map pick. They've completely silenced them. And honestly, Tesses is just being a one-man army in that B site, Hawker. He's doing more than the entire Astralis roster.
It's just been so one-sided and so impressive to see this level of play from the Heroic players. Cadian's normally the player top fragging for this team. He'd been their best player so far in this tournament. He hasn't even been called upon. It's been the rest of his boys that have come through, and the 1xBet odds clearly showcasing the sorts of chances we're expecting here for Astralis. But they've got to win this pistol to try and make it a chance for them.
Have made a call to bring an extra player over towards A. And right now, that looks like the right call, and they're bringing another one over. Magisk is coming over to the A site as Heroic set up for the pistol play. They're going through middle. Glaive has spotted them early. He has to deal with Tessus, who's about to swing from Boiler. Refresh is deploying the approach from the balcony, and Glaive has gone down early. Nice opening here for Tessus, up to 23 kills now in this pistol. And you see kind of in limbo, Magisk wondering, do I commit to A? Do I commit to B? And he's made the call to go over to the B site. And his utility starting to come in for Heroic. They're committing to their guns. They're running into the A site. And they found Bubsky. Now Dupree, he's been quiet so far. And they're going to avoid him. They're going through into CT spawn. And Magisk now has to step up. He's only managed one kill. And they're running down into the B site. And Zipex at Ruins. 3 players stand in front of him. And he does have a chance to sort of pick them apart and give a small chance on over to Astralis.
Lets them get onto the site safely, but in comes down onto Banana. He's been dealt with. In comes Zipex. Bomb gets dropped, and Tesses tries his best, but Dupree comes in with the triple kill. That is exactly what Astralis needed to give themselves a chance here, and finally getting to see something out of some of those individuals.
Yeah, Dupree, namely, of course, a big pistol round from him. And Zipex just plays that one very well, right? They understand the situation that's coming their way. They know that B play is running through CT. And there is a player you want in that situation. Generally, Zipex will be the player that will play the situation to perfection. Heroic, they're going to be coming into this one with Glocks and just a deagle. You don't really have to sweat about the economy or going for these force buys, right? You just want to get those buys out as early as possible. That does open up an opportunity now for Astralis to build some money and get themselves a decent enough start into the second half.
Some nice nade protocols from Astralis early in this one. They used a molly down mid and 2 down Banana to put that entire area of the map on fire so that they could get that full control. Now they have those SMGs pushed up close on Banana, which means that A players should be aware that if a quick push were to come in, it should be to their side.
Shush. Oh, peace out. Landed damage onto Dupree, who smokes off alongside of the brackets. Oh, Nade is followed up as well. That's a meaty one onto Shush. And Heroic, they don't want to walk into A anymore. They've had enough of that. They're going to be grouping up at the bottom of Banana, but right now that might not be any easier as Glaive is at the ready. Flashbang coming in for Zipex. It's a lineup there for Glaive, but he's only managed 1 kill. And now the Glocks continue to run down. Zipex on the double. Looking for a bit more up against these Glocks. He's done well. He's cleaned it up. That's beautiful from Zipex. 5 rounds for Astralis. It's clean. It's money. And it's 12-5 as Heroic will get their buyout.
Yeah, he had to be clinical there because with Glaive only getting 1, you've got to make sure you get multiple kills. Don't give Heroic that B site too quickly because it can be hard to retake. I don't think Heroic would have won the round, but just denying the bomb plant helps you out. Make sure that you limit that T-side economy, which you want to be resetting as much as possible to keep this comeback going. But as you pointed out, it's the AKs out for most of the Heroic players and some early aggression up Banana.
Flash around, Cadian now looking for his opening. He's got Glaive out at the start of the gun round. That's not the start because now that leaves Zipex alone. He's under a lot of pressure. Now, once again, he needs to step up. This time against the rifles. Zipex getting 1, a second picked up as well. And now Shush looking to run him down. He's at second oranges, and Zipex is delivering everything. 4 kills picked up, and now a refresh left in the 1v4. Oh, that is huge. That's exactly what Astralis ordered.
You might not have had a Deagle if it wasn't this sort of round where you've just had that different buy come through for you. You might have just had a USP in your back pocket, but thank God he had the Deag to bail him out when he ran out of ammo. The flashbang helping him out so much. And Dupree comes in to seal the deal. Zipex with back-to-back impact rounds. Astralis showing us some signs of life.
Yeah, that's beautiful from Zipex, right? Flash out first, completely blinds two players. Very composed to get both of them. And I mean, Heroic just go through with two players at the front, right? Luckily, started giving him a little bit of easier fights as they're kind of separated by that smoke grenade. He just gets a few chances towards the end as well to pop off. And that's a big play, right? That obviously hypes you up. It gets you back into a positive spirit heading into a couple more rounds here for Astralis. There's Dupree on that off. We haven't seen enough of him so far in this best of three. I would love to see some rounds out of Dupree on that AWP.
No one facing him on banana early, but the bomb is staying down towards T ramp. Maybe Heroic are thinking of faking that A site and then quickly trying to run it onto B. If they do that, though, Astralis have that all trained on the position. Smoke has just gone into deep banana too, so I think that denies it. What a shot from Tessis, though. The first bullet accuracy from this guy is incredible, and he's opened up so much of the map for them.
A refresh spots the barrel of Bubsky, but he's quicker on the headshot here. Bubsky luckily had the AK. Wallbang's refresh out of it. Now Tessis, he's got that AK. He works so hard to get. Astralis, I'm sure they're sweating a little bit right now. Heroic is starting to get closer. That smoke will allow them to run into the site, putting pressure on the pit setup. You've got Magisk in here, though. One of the best in the world at this position, but he's only managed one. It is Tessis who's the star of the show in round 19. And it's just Dupree left alone. Kidding landing shots of the Deagle. And this is not how the story should have gone. Astralis getting crushed by the weaker weapons. The Deagle's opening things up. And Tessis slams it shut.
And gone are the days of Astralis being the ones that win these sorts of rounds, right? This is something Astralis used to be able to do all the time. I mean, we obviously have to take into account the new lineup for Astralis, the new look for them, but I want to more look at Heroic, because these are the sorts of rounds where when you win them, this can really push you over the edge, make you an elite team. When you can win with just the Deags, when you can win when the odds are against you, those are the rounds that can turn games. And maybe not this one. Maybe this one wasn't close anyway, but you definitely want to have the chance to just close it out much more cleanly. And damn, Tessis, just so good at these aggressive positions, so good at these instant headshots. Doesn't give anyone a chance.
It's very difficult when you're going up against a player of his caliber, right? It just shuts you down, doesn't give you any time to react. 13-6, Heroic is 3 away from the semi-finals. If you're an Astralis fan, do not fret, they will still be in the tournament after this, even after a loss, but it will be the quarters for them. And Heroic looking to do it in style. Astralis have got a buy still. Of course, Dupree on the AWP. It's a 3-man setup early on, quite an advanced setup on the A side as well, looking to shut down the brackets. Ooh, they've just pulled Glaive over to the A side. There's only one player over here right now. Luckily, it is the Rock. It is Zipex.
Still a lot to do, though. He might need that rotate. Glaive is coming into position. Smoke goes down. I think that will do enough to delay Heroic slightly. At least make sure the rotate's there. They want to crossload. There's a big gap.
The gap is huge right now for Heroic. Tessis has got the kill on Zipex, and he's just going to run through the smoke here. Kidding with the Deagle has been unleashed. And Glaive luckily getting a headshot back. It's a 4 versus 3. 50 seconds left. Heroic hold the advantage. And Glaive tries to get close in the smoke. Could deny the plan if he gets the spam right here, but just too far up in the air. And Tessis right through the smoke. Kill onto Glaive and Magisk and Dupree. They have no chance in this one. It has to be the save call. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's a must-needed one for Astralis.
Oh, the small gap in the smoke gives the game away. Allows Heroic to start moving into that B-bomb site. And Cadian had the opportunity to buy an AK, but he was happy going with the Deagle, and it freed him up to go for that push through the CT smoke. Glaive not able to react quickly enough to save his teammate. Ends up being a trade. And then Glaive comes close to the spam through the smoke, through the coffin. Close is not good enough. He had to deny. As soon as he didn't, the round was done and dusted. Heroic 14-6 up, and they've broken the bank of Astralis. I'm excited for the playoffs, man.
Yeah,
Heroic
if
look
playing like
dangerous.
this. Yeah, this is going to be nuts. The crazy thing is, right? Everybody's kind of talking about that honeymoon period, the fact that it's all clicked perfectly for them, but it seems like they're just going from strength to strength, which to me just looks fantastic, right? Because we did say, you know, looking at the upgrade for Borup, definitely Shush coming in was a solid replacement for him, and it seems to have just instantly worked out for them. There has been no growing pains, and because of that, they can just grow and grow in each tournament that comes by. And the more time they get to practice, the more time they get to fix those mistakes, it's only going to get better. And they're riding high on the confidence, right? You know, if you've just got yourself a win over at Pro League, you've got yourself a big performance here against Astralis. If they can close it, heading into the semifinals, they might just be on for another huge championship here.
And obviously, Astralis will get a bit more time too.
Oh,
right?
Of course.
And that's going to be great for them. They're going to have a few days to maybe get a bit more practice time in ahead of those playoffs. So even though they're having a tough time here, it's against a great team in Heroic, and they're going to have a bit more time to work on anything that's gone wrong for them in this game.
Yeah. I mean, you always have to sort of temper your expectations for a roster like this. I think a lot of people probably just hang on to the name of Astralis, right? And you kind of look at what they've been able to do and achieve, but I think a lot of people need to add context to the fact that they have just lost their superstar player. It's not a very easy thing to do when you're switching up these roles and you're trying to compete at the highest level against the best teams in the world. And to make it to playoffs is decent already, but this is their biggest test yet. And TeSeS diving out of the apartments, unable to get anything. Luckily, Refresh comes in, but dupreeh, I don't know how. He hasn't been able to pick that one up. And the kills start to come through here for Heroic. It's just Zipex left alone. He's making a quick play from the B site. One will get planted default, and it's Gideon and Stown looking to close this one out. But it is the clutch man himself. The clutch minister steps into the 1v2.
Oh, steps into the open, but takes a good bit of damage. Down to 41 health. And in comes Gideon from the other side. Not ready for that second player. Matt and series point for Heroic. Semi-final point for Heroic. And something else I love, Dinko, is that TeSeS is playing so well, and yet he's willing to just run in first with the MAC-10 in this round. Like, he doesn't care about the 30 bomb, he just wants to win.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive to see a player be that committed to the cause of victory. Sorry for cutting you off there, Hawk, but I was just so shocked by the fact that dupreeh has actually bought a Nova into this round, by the way. So we're seeing a Nova in a professional game of Counter-Strike. It is not a lie. Your eyes do not deceive you. That is, in fact, a Nova. Well, it might just be the win here for Heroic. It might just be semi-finals locked in up against what is a very weak buy of Astralis. Gideon walking into top banana, finds out Glaive. He's looking for the follow-up, and he's got it. 2 kills picked up. That's the B site cracked open. And now Astralis with the weaker weapons looking to pull it off. But Gideon running right through the smoke. TeSeS getting the headshot. It's an AK picked up, but every kill's coming in here for Heroic, and it's cleaned up. It's Heroic to take the wins. They're the Great Danes in this matchup, and they head right through to the semi-finals.